In Matthew 18, Jesus is speaking to his followers in parables or stories that he's using to help them understand something. And in Matthew 18, he uses the parable of a lost sheep and says this: "What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills to go look for the one that wandered off? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he's happier about that one sheep than about the 99 that did not wander off. In the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should perish." I read a study recently that Christians, gospel-believing Christians, when asked what they thought about what God thinks about them, their answer was that they said God was disappointed in them. Over 70% of Christians feel that God is disappointed in them. And a pastor said recently that sin not only distorts the way that we look at God, right? That because of sin, we don't have a correct view of who God is, but that also because of sin, it distorts the way that we think God looks at us. And I love this passage because it reminds us that God's love is one for the individual, that he loves us individually, who we are, and that God's heart is for the lost. His heart is for the one, his heart is for the lost. And sometimes we read this and we think, wow, how could he just leave the 99 for the one? Forgetting the fact that we are always the one that has wandered off. We're not the 99 who have stayed, but we are the one who has wandered off. And the last thing that we see about God's love and ultimately his view for us is that when God finds the lost, when the lost sheep is recovered, there's not a moment of discipline of how could you have wandered off, which I do when I lose my children and we're in the store and things like that. My frustration of the wandering off takes over the celebration of having found them. But God's love says, no, you were lost and now you're found. And I have nothing but celebration that I've found you. And so I wonder if today you need to be reminded that God's love, again, is for you, the individual, for you, the lost, and that he celebrates over us coming back. And that would our heart for the lost match the way that God looks at us, not distorted by sin, but that we would have the heart of God for others, the way that he has it for us.